Hello friends! Starting this July, the way banks and the DWP work together has changed, and if you receive pension credit, housing benefit, or any other means-tested benefit, there are specific things you need to know and check right now. Not because anything has gone wrong, but because the new system has rules that can trigger a review of your payments without any warning, and the people most likely to be caught off guard are those who have never heard of it. Today I am walking through exactly what has changed, who it affects, what the two main triggers are, and what you need to do before it becomes a problem. Before we get into it, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell. DWP rules change constantly, and when they change, the letter that arrives is not an explanation, it is a consequence. The people subscribed here find out before the letter arrives. Subscribe now and let us get into it. Let me start by explaining what has actually changed, because there is a lot of misleading information circulating about this, and I want to give you an accurate picture before anything else. The change is called the Eligibility Verification Measure, or EVM. It is part of the Public Authorities Fraud, Error and Recovery Act 2026. Under this system, banks are now required to share certain data with the DWP when a benefit claimant's account shows what the system identifies as a potential compliance concern. In July 2026, the DWP published updated guidance and a code of practice, confirming that the system is now operational and banks are implementing it. Here is what the DWP can and cannot see, because this is where the confusion is greatest. The DWP does not see your individual transactions. They do not know that you bought groceries, paid a bill, or had a coffee. What the system flags is two specific things: your overall account balance and the country from which your card is being used. That is the scope of what triggers a review. Every flagged case is then assessed by a human DWP inspector, not an automated system making decisions, before any action is taken. Nothing is frozen automatically. But a flag can start a review, and a review can lead to a pause in payments if the inspector finds a genuine compliance issue. Now let me walk through the two specific triggers that can cause your payments to be reviewed. The first trigger is savings above the capital limit. Pension credit has a capital limit of £16,000. If the total value of your savings and investments exceeds £16,000, you are no longer entitled to pension credit. This rule has always existed, but what is new is how it is being enforced. Under the EVM system, if your bank account shows a balance that pushes you above this threshold, the bank is required to notify the DWP. The DWP then opens a review. For many pensioners, this feels alarming, but the underlying rule has not changed. If your savings are below £16,000, nothing changes for you. If your savings have grown above £16,000 since you first claimed, you were already required to report that to the DWP. The EVM system simply makes that rule enforceable in a way it was not before. Between £10,000 and £16,000, savings do not disqualify you from pension credit, but they reduce the amount you receive. The DWP assumes you earn £1 per week for every £500 of savings above £10,000, which is counted as income. Below £10,000, savings are ignored entirely. The second trigger is extended card use outside the United Kingdom. Pension credit is a benefit for people who are resident in Great Britain. If you are abroad for more than 4 weeks, or up to 8 weeks in exceptional circumstances such as a bereavement, your entitlement is affected. If the EVM system detects that your card is being used outside the UK for an extended period, that will be flagged as a potential residency concern, and a review may follow. This does not mean you cannot go on holiday. A 2-week trip to Spain does not trigger anything. The concern is extended absence, spending several months abroad while continuing to receive a UK residency-based benefit. Now the third thing, and this one catches people out not because of their finances, but because of a name. The DWP requires that the name on your bank account precisely matches the name held on your benefit record. This sounds simple, but it is causing real problems in practice. A pensioner whose bank account still shows a maiden name, while the DWP record shows a married name. A pensioner whose bank account uses Bill, while the DWP record says William. a pensioner whose surname was recorded with a slight spelling difference going back decades. Any of these mismatches can trigger a flag under the new verification system, and if the DWP cannot immediately reconcile the records, payments can be paused while the discrepancy is investigated. The fix is straightforward, but it requires you to act now rather than waiting for a problem. Log into your bank account and check the name exactly as it appears. Then check what name the DWP holds for you. You can do this by logging into your benefit record through gov.uk, or by ringing the pension credit team on 080 099 1234. If there is any difference, however small, update whichever record is incorrect before the system flags it for you. The fourth thing to understand involves the DWP's new enforcement powers, and it is important to be clear about exactly who these apply to, because this is the part most commonly misrepresented. Under the 2026 Act, the DWP has new powers to recover money owed to them. If you have an overpayment debt with a DWP of more than £1,000 and you have refused to engage with repayment, the DWP can now recover that debt directly from your bank account without needing to go to court first. In the most serious cases, where a debt is substantial and the person has persistently refused all contact, the DWP can apply to a court to suspend a driving licence. These powers do not apply to people who are simply receiving benefits. They apply specifically to people who already have a confirmed debt with the DWP and who are refusing to repay it or engage with the department. If you receive a DWP letter about an overpayment, ring the number on the letter and engage. A repayment plan you can afford is always available, and engaging voluntarily keeps you out of the enforcement process entirely. So here is what to do right now before any of this becomes a problem for you. Check your savings balance and confirm it is below £16,000 if you receive pension credit. If your savings have drifted above that level and you have not told the DWP, contact them now. Proactively reported changes are handled very differently from ones the system discovers through data matching. Check your name on your bank account and compare it to the name the DWP holds. Ring 080 099 1234 and ask them to confirm the name on your record. If there is any discrepancy, get it corrected now. If you are planning an extended trip abroad, check the residency rules for your specific benefit before you go, not after you return. For pension credit, 4 weeks is the general limit. If you have caring responsibilities or a medical need that requires a longer stay, ring the DWP before you travel and ask what applies to your situation. And if you have any outstanding debt with the DWP, contact the debt management line on 080 091 606 47. Engaging voluntarily gives you far more options than waiting for a letter that has already escalated to enforcement. So here is the full picture. The EVM system is now operational, and banks are sharing data with the DWP about account balances and the country where cards are being used. The DWP does not see your individual transactions, only your total balance and geographic card use, reviewed by a human inspector. The two main triggers are savings above £16,000 and extended card use outside the UK. Your name on your bank account must exactly match your DWP records. Check and correct this now if there is any difference. And the new enforcement powers apply only to people who already have confirmed debts and are refusing to engage, not to ordinary benefit recipients. Subscribe. Share this with every pensioner you know who receives pension credit or any DWP benefit. I will see you in the next one.